As it becomes compulsory to wear masks in shops in England, the government has been asked to end confusion over its face mask policy. I took to the streets to find out what ordinary people think about wearing face masks. I don't get this. What is so fucking confusing? People are so fucking stupid, aren't they? The one thing this government has been clear on is with its advice on wearing face masks. Clear as day. It's just the advice changes depending on what day it is, okay? Right, we were initially told they weren't essential, then we were told they were essential, then they weren't, then they were, then they weren't, then they were. 6 U-turns, and then they finally declared they definitely were essential, but not for another 2 weeks. Matt Hancock then said face masks didn't do anything, and the next day Boris said they were very important. 5 weeks ago the shops opened, but only now face masks need to be worn in them. If they're essential now, they were essential then. So what the fuck is going on? Like I say, clear as day. And I'm happy to report the message has clearly got through, because on my way to work today, everyone's wearing them. You know, nipped into Tesco Metro, everyone's wearing them. Yes, I'm taking the fucking piss, Tim. Italy, France, all across Europe, everyone is wearing a face mask. It's second nature. Why? Because they've been wearing them for fucking months. Why? Because their governments opened up their economies on the proviso that everyone wore a mask, and everyone went, oh, okay then. And yet our government still hasn't published full guidance on face masks. Still! We knew this virus was coming in January. By February, it had hit. By March, the entire country was brought to a standstill. Tens of thousands of preventable deaths. Millions without work. Entire industries have collapsed. And the government is still fucking about with its stance on face masks. Whereas to anyone with a fucking brain, their stance should be perfectly obvious. Put a fucking mask on. Wear a fuck. If you leave your house, it's not like we're being asked to shove a tin of beans sideways up your arse to help fight COVID. You're not being asked to chop your own dick off in the name of public health. Drown a puppy to help the national effort. No, wear a thin piece of cloth across your mouth and nose to help prevent more unnecessary deaths and further financial hardship to your fellow citizens. You know, unless you have a really good reason not to wear a mask, wear a fucking mask. You know, I find it difficult to breathe with a mask on. Well, if you seriously struggle to breathe with a thin bit of cloth on your face, then you're probably in the high-risk category for COVID-19, and as such, you really need to put a fucking mask on. Yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, they steam your glasses up. Yes, they chafe your ears and give you spots on your chin. I'll tell you what's worse, though, a fucking ventilator tube down your fucking gullet. I'll tell you what's worse, financial ruin, death. Bit of advice, if you're finding the mask uncomfortable, best thing to do is compare notes with a nurse who's had to wear full PPE for 12 hours a day for the last 6 months. Suddenly it won't seem so bad. Put a fucking mask on. And if you're one of these fucking nut jobs going around, you know, what about my civil liberties, right? Do you remember a couple of months ago when you could get arrested for leaving your own fucking house? Put a fucking mask on. The government, it needs to publish its face mask policy, and its policy needs to be this. Put a fucking mask on. And if you don't, you are a selfish motherfucking arsehole, and you will be asked to leave. In summation, put a fucking mask on. Well, for advice on how to wear a face mask, or indeed how you can make your own, just